What's up, folks? This is Crypto with James talking to you today about Civic. Don't like it. Long term as an investment, probably a very good investment. Don't like it as a concept, and I'll get into why. Before I do, as always, I update the spreadsheet. Just the first 26 coins I spoke about on the channel, the ones I held, first ones I held. And if you'd invested $100 into each coin when I released the videos and you're still holding all that crypto, you'd be in profit for over 35 grand. This is not my portfolio anymore. If you want to see exactly what I hold, come check out Copy My Cryptos, where I share every coin I buy, every coin I sell, and how I'm balancing my portfolio in this sort of market right now, particularly given just the enormous amount of uncertainty in financial markets around the world at the moment. If you're not happy with the balance of your portfolio or how you're set up in case things go super bullish, super bearish, then you can see exactly what I'm doing on Copy My Crypto. Along with that, like I said, anytime I get into a new coin or strengthen a position in a coin, which I'll be doing very, very soon. And if you want to know exactly what that is, like I said, you can check it out. Something I do reiterate, and I'm trying to keep doing this, is reminding people, get in, build that list of coins that you're really bullish on. Because if you're bullish long term, when a bear cycle's kicked in and they've retraced dramatically, they're still hitting their targets on their roadmaps and they're building good partnerships. This is what gives a coin the chance of doing stupidly good gains. And you got to bear in mind, when a bear cycle is kicked in, that's when investment is key. The rich invest when things are down, and that's how they build their wealth. So I've got a list of coins that I'm watching at the moment that I'm going to be watching with a very, very close eye during the bear cycle. So if you want to know exactly what I'm looking at when the bear cycle kicks in as well, come check it out. Links in the description. Right, Civic. I don't like it. I don't like it as a concept, but it's not that I don't like the tech or the team or the crypto itself. I don't like identity management. And that's from the perspective of just more people. Digital identity is not going to be a good thing for any of us long term. I don't see a positive with that. I understand the concept. I understand why it's going to end up being implemented. Digital identity verification and all of this over time. That's inevitable. We're moving into a digital age more than ever, where we're going to have governments requiring digital identity verification on multiple different things. KYC is already being ramped up in almost every avenue imaginable. And digital identity is one I'm really not a fan of. But not being a fan of it, and aside from that, you've got to acknowledge that long term, these are going to be things that grow. Because that area is inevitably going to grow. So Civic can grow and will grow. Really, the two leaders in terms of, I guess, identity solutions right now are probably Ontology and Civic. Now, Civic's had some tough things happen recently. We saw the Solana rug pull despite Civic's verification. So they've the devs were purportedly fully doxed through Civic's pass program, and then did a massive rug pull. Scams made off with around 9,000 Solana, which is about 1.3 million at the time. But there was never actually an NFT to sell, so people were buying something that didn't exist. And obviously, they'd been doxed by Civic. Civic announced that they had been verified. Big Daddy Ape Club through its Civic Pass program. And obviously, Big Daddy Ape Club exploited Civic. You can't, like Civic, they didn't necessarily do the perfect job, but it wasn't down necessarily to Civic. It was down to the poor and disgusting behavior of the individuals. So we're aware, and Civic put out the statement, we're aware of the reported Big Daddy Ape Club rug pull and that there are victims involved. We take this attack on the NFT community seriously and are taking steps to offer all the assistance we can, and they are working with law enforcement with regards to this, and good for them, as they should. But yeah, and these are one of those things that's a sad story. But I don't necessarily think Civic are the problem there. Civic weren't acting irresponsibly. Civic were trying to ensure that everything was done properly, and they weren't the malicious actors. The malicious actors were the creators of the Big Daddy Ape Club. So, obviously, that's not great, and that damaged Civic's reputation somewhat. And that was in very early 2022, around in January. And we saw, I think it was around there where we saw the dip. But other than that, and when we actually just look objectively at Civic, it's identity verification requirements with Civic's tools for permissioned access for DeFi, public blockchains, NFTs, and businesses. They're looking to attract the right users and reduce the risk with better access control. It's AI-powered identity verification. They've got fast onboarding as well, particularly with the mobile app. So it's one of the best identity verification systems in place right now. You can't argue that, really. Ontology, like I said, Ontology and Civic, probably the two leaders right now. They're serving liquidity providers and dApp developers with requirements for vetting counterparties. They've got identity verification for businesses, where AI-powered ID verification combined with human review ensure that your users are always real. They also trying to ensure that bad actors are kept out by email and liveness verification biometrics in a passcode protected app. Global identification verification support for 4,500 documents across 195 countries. The identity document verification, age verification, multi-factor authentication, all these things, they have it in place. It is good in terms of tech, in terms of what they do. It is good. They're also introducing NFT drops as well, and they've got NFT drops and mints. So all of these things are good, and they are, one of the best in class. I just hate the damn concept. I just think it's more a wider opportunity for governments and for institutions to monitor people. I think it's I think it's just more down the line. I think it's just more information about yourself that you're going to be required to implement. Not necessarily Civic itself, the actual concept of it. Identity verification just means you're sharing your information about yourself to access services constantly. I don't think that's a good thing. I think we're going to be presented with this BS narrative that it's about protecting the customer. It's about protecting, we've seen governments do it lately with, we're going to monitor crypto exchanges. And when those crypto exchanges, we're going to make sure they do KYC and da-da-da. No, that's just to get information about the customer. It's not about protecting the customer. It's about knowing info about the customers so that the governments or whoever can tax them appropriately. Or not appropriately, as the case always is. So I don't like it. But this is the way the world is going. Unequivocally, this is the way the world is going. There'll be more KYC on everything that we do. There'll be more identity verification on everything we do. And fundamentally, tokens that fuel identity verification, like Civic, like Ontology, are going to run well over time. Over time, they will grow because they're necessary, given the way that services are going to evolve, given the way that oversight of individuals is going to evolve. So as a long-term investment, probably very good. Down the, and I think generally that there is, I mean, it's in DCG's portfolio and Pantera's, and I'm sure there's probably other massive investors that are in it as well. But Civic, definitely going to, you can never say definitely, but I'd be very confident that this is going to end up being a successful project. It probably already is by just standard definitions, but I mean, identity verification is going to be so important for every service down the line. And the tokens that fuel the economies behind that are going to run. So a $2 coin would put it at a market cap of 1.34 billion. That's reasonable. That's probably achievable. Even when the total supply is out, it would be a 2 billion market cap. But if it's a big if, but if it ends up being the most utilized identity management solution around, then it will run into the billions. Of course it will. And this is it. It's for something like Civic, the chances of it running really well in the short term, everything might in the short term, but it's not. But the long term potential of Civic is pretty high, because the narrative is going to change consistently and adapt consistently, and it's going to be protect the consumer, protect the consumer, protect the consumer. We need to, present your identity so it's you, so we know it's you, so no one's using your card or your wallets for fraud. And that narrative will be pushed, and then the blockchain identity management tools like Civic, like Ontology, will run, and they'll do well in price long term because of that. And it'll be a really crappy time when that happens, But as a long-term investment, it's probably a decent one. Because we're going to see a lot of AML. You're going to see a lot of, you need to use these because of AML, because of KYC. It's just going to be constant. It's going to be constant. And we're not even that far away from it, because now the government's integrating it into damn near every statement that they put out. Ukraine legalized crypto, very, very recently. They put out a statement about protecting consumers. We've seen America put out statements about protecting consumers. We've seen the UK do it. We've seen South Korea do it. We've seen Russia do it. We're seeing everyone do it. So identity verification is the next evolving step. So 2 years, 4 years, 6 years, whatever it is, these solutions will be massively utilized. So it's one to have on your radar, even if you dislike it like me and you're very anti-digital identity verification. That's it. I just want to present my take on it and be very, very clear. I really don't like digital identity verification solutions, but there's potential. Anyway, that is it from me. Just having a little rant as well. I wanted to rant. Sometimes it makes you feel good. And if you're new to crypto, or you've been in crypto a while, but you're really unhappy with the balance of your portfolio, how you're prepared in case things go bearish or bullish, come check out Copy My Crypto. Not only do I share the coins I buy, the coins I sell, I tell you exactly how I'm setting up my portfolio in case things turn bearish and in case things turn bullish. As well as, I let you know whenever I'm strengthening a position in a particular coin as well. And I'll be doing that with one particular coin very, 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 very soon. So if you want to know what that is, click the link in the description and check it out. Anyway, take it easy, guys. Bye-bye.